Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. That was a very, very beautiful introduction, and it was very moving for me to see the pictures, particularly of the early times with you, both here and in Paris, and with my hero, Madame Rajavi. Like Bill Richardson, I believe that the most powerful thing about this movement is that it is political in the best sense, meaning it's not partisan political, it's not ideologically political, it's morally political. We're here not as Republicans or Democrats or whatever. We're here because we love freedom. And we can now smell it, right? We can see it. We can see it we could always see it in the people here and in Paris, and we can see their love of freedom. I got to see it firsthand in Albania about 2 months ago. You can see people, you can see what they can do when they live in freedom, how much more they can organize, how much more they can get information for us. Now that they don't have to worry about being slaughtered by the Iranians and the Iraqis who have become a satellite of Iran, they can do a lot of productive things. And they have now speeded up dramatically our ability to bring freedom to Iran. I really believe that it is now in sight that we will have one of these conventions in Tehran. The protests that started in January of this year are now all over Iran. You heard Bill say 142 cities and growing. When the protests started, and we were so hopeful that they'd take off 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, well, the president at the time turned his back on the freedom fighters. And people died because he did that. Just like he turned his back on the people of Syria after he drew the line and they died from chemical weapons. Well, President Trump's reaction to both very different. In the case of Syria, they crossed the red line and he bombed them. We've got a president who's tough, a president who doesn't listen to the people who are naysayers, and a president that is as committed to regime change as we are. And with Secretary of State Pompeo now on his right hand and his National Security Advisor, John Bolton, you remember John Bolton, on his left side. What do you think is going to happen to that agreement? That nuclear agreement? Yep. With that gone, sanctions back, we have a real chance of escalating these protests. It hasn't really helped Iran as much as we thought it would, having the sanctions lifted, because their economy is basically a thoroughly corrupt economy. The only people getting wealthy in Iran are the mullahs and Rouhani and Khamenei and all the people who cooperate with them. Everybody else is poor now. People who used to be middle class and wealthy are now poor. And you think they're going to take that for much longer? They're your brothers and sisters. They are not going to take that for very much longer. So my guess is this is going to happen faster than people think. And we have something very different here. Unlike what we had in some of the other countries like Egypt and Libya. We didn't know who was going to replace Mubarak, Gaddafi. So I would like to make it clear, here's the alternative. It's right in front of you. We saw her, Madam Rajavi, right there. How about more women in this audience than men? A lot of people think Madam Rajavi is like a figurehead as a woman because it's so unusual that an organization like this, a woman would be in charge. But when you go and meet her in Paris, and you go to the compound, or you go to Albania, and you see the women are in the leadership roles as much, if not more than the men, you realize this is for real. When their 10 principles include the rights of women, they don't just say it, they live it, maybe even more than we do in the US. What a wonderful thing for us as Americans to see the rights of women. And what a wonderful thing for fathers who have daughters and mothers who have daughters to see that even in Iran, women can go right to the very top and be the best. A wonderful thing that you're bringing us. So let me summarize the biggest of the 10 principles. So, first, firmly committed to the thing that has to be decided in a few days, a non-nuclear Iran. Second, firmly committed, as those young people told us, to something that Iran needs, the rule of law. People should not be imprisoned, certainly people shouldn't be executed. Then democracy, choose your leaders. We believe Madam Rajavi should be the leader, but we expect opposition groups in Iran. And then, most important, because it's so unusual, the rights of women to have the same roles as men. So thank you very much, and God bless you.